Today is 24th October. So we are having a regular MicroProfile AI conversation. Yeah, keep going. Maybe it's the
I think you folks, I think you mentioned that you looked at the minutes of meeting. I think maybe Dawn too. What we spoke, especially in last 3 weeks, was to cut a 1.0 release because people feel a little more confident when they see 1.0 rather than 0.7 and stuff like that. And I think we are at a point where we can make a cut for that. I think that was a similar feedback that Ed shared after your presentation at Tech Exchange. So we have been talking about what it takes. In doing so, we have been pretty religious about uptaking latest LangChain 4J, which is like almost weekly now. So somewhere we have to say that this version of LangChain is what we have verified for things, and it works for us. One of the biggest thing that we don't have an example for the latest LangChain is MCP client, right? We had talked about doing MCP server support and small MCP and abstracting Quark Assist interface and stuff like that. But in one of the meeting, we said that we will stick to the LangChain 4J line, which is LangChain 4J says that they are not in the business of creating MCP server. They deferred it to MCP SDK. And we said that we will do the same. We are LangChain 4J CDI. We are not adding things on top of that. So for the time being, we are not going to look at MCP server support, but we are going to provide how you can inject MCP client, which comes from LangChain 4J. And last week's meeting, we went through some amount of code and configuration and whether we can do it or not. And as Emmanuel mentioned earlier in the meeting and on the Slack channel, he was able to get MCP client to work with some amount of hacking. So maybe Emmanuel, you want to pick up from there and share what you found out.
Yeah, so I tried to.
Before we come to the MCP conversation, in the Tech Exchange demo, so I think this is may not be have to be resolved here, but we need to really resolve the issue. Currently all this integration is got stuck on the MicroProfile 6.1, I think. We need to move to a 7.1, but there's some, I don't know what's a problem, but there's some problem. And also there shouldn't have a small right dependence, small right fault tolerance dependency either. So this need to be resolved. So Don, did you raise the issue for this, Don?
Let me take a look. It's been a long time.
Cannot see it.
I'm just looking at the ones that were closed as well. Yeah, I don't have specific to that, to the version of MicroProfile.
Yeah.
In 15 May's meeting, we decided to stick to 7.0. I mean, it still requires upgrade, but when we were talking about it, we said 7.0 with EE10 was what we are gonna target.
Yeah, either 7.0 or 7.1, fine. It's depend on which runtime you are targeting. Some runtime hasn't supported 7.1 as yet.
Right. And examples you are looking at, that's good thing. But the but the top level POM, I think, is 7.0, right? I mean, example is
This
like
one?
vendor depend. No, you are still looking at the example POM, right? If you look at the parent POM at the root level,
Oh, this one.
yeah, I think that should be 7.0, right? I haven't checked in a while, but I thought, or
I know here is Jakarta E10.
right. And I think
Uh,
with the restructuring of project, if you look at the LangChain for the CDI MP, did we move everything MP related under that? No, there is a folder called CDI MP, right?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, there's a
Oh, here,
component
here.
there.
Yeah, so if you look at the POM there, I think
No, it's
we are referring to individual specification, right? We are not referring to MicroProfile as a whole here.
Yeah, so this is the individual specs.
Right.
That will give us.
Is there a BOM for MicroProfile?
Yeah, there's a BOM.
So I guess we should use the BOM then
Yeah.
for
So
that the dependency version, because there are two types. I mean, one which is the MicroProfile version we use to build the module, and for the example, in my opinion, it's up to each runtime to update the dependencies up to, because, for example, I don't know how to do that properly with Liberty and make sure that depending on the Liberty version, which version of each component I need.
Correct.
Liberty would be fine. Liberty is should always when you run it's always the latest Liberty. It has
No, I
one.
mean Liberty as an example because I was playing with it, but for Eliton it's the same. From my point of view, it's the same. I have the same issue because I don't know much about Eliton and don't know all the dependencies and how they are, which version, etc. For Pariah is the same, or Gasfish or whatever. So what I mean is that if you feel that they should be updated for Liberty, then I would like someone from Liberty to do it properly, because I think you have better knowledge of what is required and how to define that in Liberty than I would.
I think when I tried to change here to be 7.1, it did not work.
That's one of the reasons why we duplicate everything for each example, so that each say vendor or runtime can have its own way of doing things.
So so this also I think is anyway here it yeah need to be reworked. You shouldn't pull in this dependency either. And also the telemetry is not working.
Yep.
Did any yeah.
I have a similar, maybe not similar, but I have something quite similar in terms of issues with MCP tools, because I think the fact that we need to inject a list of parameterized list of bins is a bit complex to manipulate. I don't know for OpenTelemetry in details, but for MCP it was a bit that's the hacking part that I need to sort properly, because LangChain doesn't expect a MCP client, but a list of MCP clients. So we need a way to provide a list properly from a single element.
Yeah. Okay. I read the back. So which example has the so is the smaller is the wildfly? Is the up to date
No,
with the MP levels?
I don't think there is any Wi-Fi example in the current state. So no, what I did is I used my own I know Ed is that, yeah, but well, I split. I created. I moved the example to. We were using the car booking example. I have it on Wi-Fi, and I split it in three parts. Having a dedicated instance for ingestion, a dedicated instance for the LLM part, and a dedicated instance to provide the tools as MCP tools. And so I took that part, and what I did is make it work with Liberty. So Liberty is the same car booking example, but without using the internal tools, but using the MCP tools deployed on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it's
Okay,
the same example. And so
Okay.
what I did is try to make Longchain4j CDI works with that.
Okay.
But
So
I don't have a PR because it's not it's hacking, so it's not stable, but it works. So I made it work, and now I have to make it a proper way to do it.
okay. So anyway, so that's I just want to you folks understand the current problem with the examples. I think his Bohik said he couldn't move up MP level because of CDI issue. Do you folks understand? I'm a bit confused because that would be on the parent level, that's EE10. And also the EE10 will be have the CDI level, and then MicroProfile 7.1 also works with the EE10. But anyway, we can talk offline. I think when I have time, I will put a more error message on this issue so we can discuss next week. Okay.
It is
Okay.
not just examples. You want to move Longchain4j CDI MicroProfile also to MicroProfile 7.1 or 7, whatever we decide to.
I think
So we need
on the latest row would be the better.
right. We need an issue for that too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, I will create another issue.
Yeah, and one for Longchain4j upgrade because they have moved to 1.8
Yeah.
since last week. So
Okay. Yeah. We had. Yeah, I think that's it. So you are discussing MCP client. So are you saying in here in this Longchain4j-CDI, you don't want to do MCP server?
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Like people don't want to. We want to treat this repo as an extension to Longchain4j, but enabling just CDI. And because Longchain4j is not supporting MCP server, we shouldn't do that. Is what we talked about.
yeah, currently our goal is to be able to provide agents, and doing MCP server is not. I mean, it's something that you might want to use in an agent. In which case you have to be able to support MCP clients. but we don't want to be able to, I mean, we don't want to be MCP servers. That's a different feature than providing a way to build agents, Java agents.
Okay.
I mean, in the same way, for Quarkus, for example, they have an MCP server extension for Quarkus, and they have, which is a different one, and it's not bound to the Longchain4j extension for Quarkus. So I think while I'm not saying that providing MCP servers or a way to build MCP servers in Java is not something we shouldn't look into. I think it's not in the current scope of this project.
I know Clement created the Samora-MCP.
Yep.
Do you think it makes more sense to move this to Longchain4j-CDI?
No, because that's, I mean,
Yeah.
that's something you might need to do if you want to build an MCP server, which is not something we want to do. It has nothing to do with.
So you are saying in the Longchain4j-CDI, we don't really want to touch MCP server.
Yep.
So this is better off to stay on Samora.
Yeah.
So what is in scope then for this Longchain4j?
The scope is to be able to use MCP servers.
The top bullet point that you have just about that MCP client provide a support to inject MCP client, that is in scope for this repository, because Longchain4j provides you a way to create MCP client programmatically, right? We are going to make it injectable. That is in scope for this project.
And to be and then to make those
Configurable
tools,
and,
and inject the tools that the MCP client provides.
Probably for this, if we want to release 1.0, if we fix line up all these dependencies, and then we are better off to do the 1.0. And then for the MCP client, is this another bigger bunch of work? Do we want to do after 1.0 release?
yeah, that's the same question we had last time. We decided, let's see how much work it is, and that is what Emmanuel went around and did. So
okay,
he is going to share how much work it is so that we can decide whether it belongs in 1.0 or it should be pushed out. Yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe we can do.
Shall I stop sharing and then you can share?
Yeah, I was saying maybe we can do another file without it and then say that we are going to provide it or something like that.
Okay, you can share now, Emmanuel.
What do you system desktop window capture? So that's give me a sec. I always forget how to update you. Plus. Non. Ah oui, c'est option colors and 24. Yeah. So this is how I did it. So I set to transport. In my case, I was using SSE. So that's the MCP HTTP MCP transport from Longchain4j. We have defined the endpoint and just the local request and response. And then you have to inject the transport into the MCP client. So that's this part. And then you have to inject the MCP client into the tool provider. This can be a list. So this is what I did is some hacking around that. Basically, one of the I made two issues. one which is the fact that I think it's a default MCP client doesn't have a builder method, so you have to create a new instance of the builder. So I added that functionality. And the second one, which is a bit more tricky, it's trickier, is the fact that you have to inject a list of beans. And I think that currently there is no way to provide a list of lookup. So it's basically it's expecting the lookup to be a list itself, and I don't know how to do that properly. So I have done some hack, which is around here. So it's not it's not going to work properly because it's just to make it work in my current configuration, because you have to create the list by yourself. So I think I will have to sync with Buake and Jan, who wrote this code, to see how we can create a collection of this. I think that's maybe what they are doing here a bit, because it looks similar. When they were using the @all, but yeah. I have to we have to define some way to say that this is going to be a collection, a list, and thus because the trick is you are creating a bin, and what we want is a list of those bins to be injected.
That lookup colon is a new functionality that you added, or did
No,
we always?
lookup has been there for a while now. I think almost since the beginning. There were some issues in the way it worked, because it was depending on the order of the declaration, and I know that this has been changed. But yeah, lookup is right. But lookup is I'm going to create a CDI bin and then look up it and look it up. So that's what it is supposed to do. You can see here, for example, select all by bin manager, and yeah, I'm getting an instance. But the trick is with all those with parameterized types and collections, because you are looking for a bin, and in that case, the bin expected is a list of MCP clients. And what I can build is an MCP client, and I'm not sure there is a way to build. I don't know how to build a list of MCP clients
I
using.
think Bohik is saying that use @all, and it will find all the beans, and then it will be a list. That's what I see in chat, right, Bohik?
Yeah, but @all is all. No, let's say I want. I don't know. Maybe I have because I don't. Let's say I have two providers of tools. I don't want to expose all the tools because in our case we have, for example, two services. So maybe we don't want to have the same tools in both services. So @all wouldn't work in that case.
No, that's fine. What you do is put the class name, and then you separate it by a comma, and then it will just inject those.
What is the class? Which one? The class name of the parameter type?
Yeah. So if you have specific beans that you want injected, and you have a list of them, then you specify it by the class names, and then separate by comma. Then it will just look up for those.
So here I should say @lookup @all. As I say, transport MCP transport.
No, then if you say @all, it will find all the transport of that type. But then if you only want specific transport, then you just put the full class name of that transport. Instead of lookup, just put the full class name of each and then specify in the separate by comma. So remove lookup.all and just put class names. Yeah.
And but if I want that one.
Yeah, then that's fine.
No, let's say okay, what I'm going to say is let's say I have this one. SEC2, and it's going to a second endpoint or a second server. Because I'm going to use this, let's say, because it's a connection to a different MCP server. So let's say I have, or I have STDIO, or no, because it won't be the same class, but let's say I have those two. No, I'm getting two of them, and I just want one. How do I filter one?
You just specify one class name.
Yeah, but those are the same class, right?
Yeah, no, it should give you a list with just the one class that you want. So you just specify the class name of the one that you want on the list. Ideally, and I think Jan did that, where you can just specify. Otherwise, if you want specific transports and you have like 3 of them, then you can just put all 3 class names, but it must be separated by a comma.
Yeah, but I suppose that the class name are different. Yeah, the class name is the same because I'm providing two transport to two different endpoints. So no, I have no. Let's say I want to create a MCP2. I don't know. This one is for fraud, for example. So MCP fraud, and this one is going to use. I wanted to use this connection. The SSE fraud transport, for example.
Then you'll be lookup at MCP fraud, and then I think it's lookup at.
No, because if I look up the MCP fraud, sorry, the SEC fraud transport, here, it will fail because it's expecting a list. This is a list of transport. That's my issue is, just make it a working state. But that's my issue is everything's a list, yeah. So
Yeah.
So yeah, when I do this, I'm getting a single element.
It will figure out by the type. If it's a list, it will return a list. If it's a set, it will return a set. Ideally, it defaults to a list.
Yeah, but the lookup doesn't do that because here that's what I had to do to make it work is to convert that single element into a list. So that's what I wanted to discuss with you and Jan is the LM config. This is basically what I did. Yeah, I was looking the bin. Well, I thought the add was required, so that's something else. But yeah, for example, so I have a parameter type which is a list of MCP client. Let's keep with MCP client, which I'm sure about. So if I do that, then when you do the lookup here, it's taking a list of MCP client as a type, and there is no bin with a list of MCP client. There are only bins of type MCP client. So here this will fail.
Yeah. Okay. We can look at
because
it.
Because you will get a class exception.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what you need is the type of the type argument of the list. So in that case, it will be MCP client, and this will work. But the issue is now that it's expecting a list, and I'm returning a single element.
Okay, I'll have to look at it because I know it's Jan who did it, but yeah, I can look at it after this.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the part that needs to be cleaned up. Otherwise, it will work. And if this works, I think we can make everything work. Because I don't think even you can provide a way to add multiple lookups.
Not at the moment. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. I promised Arja that I would do it, so I did it, but I didn't have much time to look into it. That's why it's a bit cranky on the edge.
Okay.
But that's something we can discuss offline, of course.
Yeah.
I will do a branch so that you can look into it, and Jan also.
Yeah, sounds good. The 2 minutes over. Do we still want to have a discussion or call it a day?
We can call it a day. We can decide next time. If we have made progress on MCP, then maybe wait a week. Otherwise, start working on making a 1.0 release without that and follow up quickly with 1.1 or something.
Yeah.
Do you want to do 1.0 or a 1.0 beta, and then
Yeah,
which means we can update it afterwards, but
Yeah.
at least beta made it more. I would say it's getting closer to a release, so
Sure.
people might look into it even if it's not finished or polished.
Yeah, sounds good. Beta one. Also, Bahik, I raised 2 issues about bringing up MicroProfile level to MicroProfile 701, especially for Liberty. I think I discussed with you in the past. You said there's some other issues, but one other thing is the telemetry is not working at all. So we really need to have that fixed or work out what's going wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look to
So
that.
it's on the minutes. It's on the minutes. I raised the 2 issues.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.